BrookingsBaseball.com.
And we welcome you back as we are sent for Game 2 of our doubleheader between the Pierre Post 8s and Brookings Bandits as we get sent for our second game. And the 8s will be looking to try and even out the doubleheader after a 5-3 loss in Game 1 in 9 innings. And they will throw out J.J. Buckles on the mound for Game 2. He will be countered by Kyson Ruhr, the pitcher for Brookings in Game 2 as well. The 8s are just about set to take the field here in our second game of our doubleheader. And yes, we are just getting started with that second game. A 3-hour, 4-minute first game, 9 innings played. And our second game of the doubleheader will send us late into the evening in the late May game in our first doubleheader of the season. But again, J.J. Buckles will be on the mound as we get set for our second game. As Sun and Shine, we'll go through the batting order here as the 8s, again, are just about ready to take the field. Go through the batting order first for the home team Post 8. Sun and Shine will be the DH leading off. Dawson Getz is the shortstop batting second. Cooper Twilliger will bat third and playing first base. Charlie Simpson, the right fielder, will bat fourth. Nolan Peterson, the catcher, batting fifth. Rich Leinbach will bat sixth and play left. Grayson Hunsley, the third baseman, batting seventh. Porter Hunsley will bat eighth and play center field. And Parker O'Brien rounds out the order batting ninth as a second baseman. And J.J. Buckles, again, is on the mound. For the Brookings Bandits, Trey Christopherson will lead things off. He's the center fielder. Cooper Schneider, the shortstop, will bat second. Jace Bauer, the third baseman, will bat third. Winston Plummer, the DH, batting fourth. Tyson Antonin, the second baseman, will bat fifth. Tane Frederick, the first baseman, batting sixth. Max Jensen, the catcher, batting seventh. Ryan Lockram, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Jay Harris, the left fielder, will round out the batting order, batting ninth, with Kyson Ruhr, the pitcher, throwing in Game 2 for the Brookings Bandits. Get the camera all back in place for you after apparently it nudged it at the end of the first game. So we'll get that camera all straightened back out and get you ready to go. A little seasick on top of that. Apologies for it, but J.J. Buckles is on the mound. The shadows have moved all the way in across the infield, and really the outfield is the only thing that's got the majority of the sun. There's a little bit of sun shining still in the infield, but for the most part it is now all in the shade. But J.J. Buckles throwing his warm-up tosses. Last summer for Buckles, he threw 30 innings, which ended up being second on the team behind Twilliger, but he had 57 innings. Buckles had 30 innings. In 10 appearances, 5 starts, he went 1-3 with 32 hits allowed, 24 runs, 16 of them earned, 26 walks, 20 strikeouts, an ERA at 3.73, a whip at 1.95, and a batting average against at 327. Make that 267, an ERA at 3.73, whip at 1.93, and a batting average against at 267. As we're underway, first pitch is missing for ball one here at 8:33 for game number 2. 1-0 pitch over for a strike, and the count is at 1-1 to Trey Christopherson. Christopherson was hard to get out in game number 1. Reached base 4 of the 5 times he came to the plate. He had 3 hits with a walk. He struck out looking the only time that he was retired, as he has a 2-1 count, and that will miss low to make it a 3-1 count to the leadoff man. Cooper Schneider, Jace Bauer, Winston Plummer, the first 4 hitters in the order. This will be flown out towards center field. Little bleeder for a base hit for Trey Christopherson to get us started here in game number 2. Leadoff man is aboard to kick off our second game. And the first 6 guys in the batting order are all the same. Max Jensen moves up a spot. Jay Harris stays in the number 9 spot, and Ryan Lockram is into the batting order for the first time as the number 8 man, as Schneider will foul the first pitch back for strike 1. So that's the 3rd hit today for Christopherson. Make that the 4th hit today for Christopherson. 3 singles and a double. Cooper Schneider, who threw in relief inning in a third, but went 1 for 3 with 2 walks. in game number 1. He's showing bunt, pulls it back and taking the curveball for a strike, and the count's 0-2. In Post State will take on Sioux Falls East next Tuesday. It'll be on the road with a 4 o'clock first pitch. It'll be on the air at 3:45. Dylan Simmons will have the call for you. There's a swing and a miss by Schneider, and there's a strikeout for J.J. Buckles. We mentioned for Buckles his stats pitching-wise last summer, but this spring for J.J. Buckles, he went 21 2/3 innings, 5 appearances, 4 starts, 2-1 record, 15 hits, 5 runs, only 4 of them earned, 13 walks and 18 strikeouts. That ERA 1.29. Runner takes off, the throw to second, the tag, they got him out. Christofferson is gunned down. What a great throw from Nolan Peterson. First man goes on him. He's able to throw him out, and there's 2 away. It was taken for a strike. Nobody on now, an 0-1 count. Finish up Buckles' stats here real quick. 1.29 ERA, 1.29 whip, and a batting average against it 192. As the 0-1 is fouled away, and the count's now 0-2. For Nolan Peterson, he threw out 25 runners last year. So that was his first one of the 2025 summer. He threw 25 guys out. The only other guy that threw out anybody was Grayson Hunsley trying to steal a base. Peterson's pop time was excellent, and they kept trying to run on him, and he kept throwing everybody out. Counts now to 2-2. Here to Jace Bauer, the number 3 man, with nobody on and 2 outs. Maybe it's a 3-1 count. Here's the next pitch. A fly ball to left field. That's going to get over the head all the way out to the wall. And it is going to leave the park for a 2-out solo shot from Jace Bauer. It barely got out. I don't even think Bauer knows that it got out. He is moving pretty slow down the third base line. But it is a 2-out solo shot. And the Bandits lead at 1-0. Bauer, during the spring season, he did not have a home run. And so now his first home run in either varsity spring ball or in Legion baseball, as Winston Plummer, to the plate. That one's over for a strike. That counts 1-1 here to Plummer. But that, again, is big for Nolan Peterson throwing out the runner at second. It's a 2-0 game if he doesn't throw him out. There's still only 1 out. Instead, Buckles has to just get 1 guy out here and can do so against Winston Plummer as it counts 2-1. 2-1 pitch. This will be grounded over to Coach Roach, who will make the play over there. The third base coaching box. And it counts 2-2. 2-2 from Buckles to Plummer. That is outside, and the count is now full. (3-2) from Buckles. Payoff pitch. Another ground ball that Coach Roach says, I'm going to let that one go. And it hit the 2 posts over there. It'll be like a goal that bounced off of both posts and stayed out. 3-2. That one's taken for strike 3, and it will retire the side here in the top of the first inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but it was 2 hits. They'll make that 1 run on 2 hits. It was a solo shot, no errors and no one left on base. It is just a 1-0 lead for Brookings at the end of the top of the first. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Bottom of the first, 1-0 in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard as Brookings gets a solo shot from Jace Bauer. And now the Eights will hope to counter here in the bottom of the first inning. Sun and Shine will lead things off. He's a DH here in game 2. Dawson gets the shortstop, will bat second. Cooper Twilliger is batting third and playing first base. Charlie Simpson, the right fielder, will bat fourth. Nolan Peterson is in the 5 spot. He's the catcher. Rich Lineback will bat 6th and play left field. Grayson Hunsley batting 7th, playing third base. Porter Hunsley, the center fielder, batting 8th. And Parker O'Brien, the second baseman, will bat 9th for the Eights. J.J. Buckles not in the batting order, and they go against Kyson Ruhr, who did not throw last season in the summer, but in the spring, he threw 21 2/3 innings, 6 appearances, 4 starts, 1-3 record overall, 33 hits, 33 runs, 26 of them earned, 15 walks, 11 strikeouts, an ERA at 8.4, a whip at 2.22, and a batting average against it at 340. So he is susceptible to giving up base hits. And the Eights, who got a lot of extra base hits in game 1, have to find a way to get a lot more hits here in game number 2 as Sun and Shine will step to the plate. He had an excellent first game. He went 3 for 4, a triple, 2 singles, and a walk. First 4 times that he came to the plate, he reached base. As the first pitch is missing for ball 1 to Sun and Shine. Lights are turned on here at Hyde Stadium as we are in the bottom of the first of game number 2. That one is missing low, and the count's now 2-0. The great thing about the game of baseball, with not really, I mean, obviously lower levels, there's time limits and stuff, but there is no time limit in the game of baseball. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's over for a strike. The count's 2-1. We've had double headers that we've been off the air and packed up and gone at 8:42. Where this doubleheader is, we're in the bottom of the first of game number 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That'll miss, and the count's now 3-1. I believe it was the Huron doubleheader. If I can go back and find that Huron doubleheader that we went really quick in that game, those 2 games. That one will be missing for ball 4. Sun and Shine will draw the leadoff walk, and it will bring up Dawson Getz. Yeah, so we started at 4:54 in the Huron doubleheader. Game 1 was done at 6:02, and then game 2 was done at 8:12. So that was half an hour. That's just what makes the game of baseball so much fun, is that you never know how long you're actually going to be at the ballpark and enjoying some baseball. And obviously it was 2 quick games that were played, and it was a good baseball game that was played just a little bit ago as Dawson Getz took strike 1. But it just goes to show you that you just never know. Something new every time you come to the ballpark. Timing probably doesn't really factor into it, as Sunshine was off of the pitch. He'll pop it up, does Getz. The shortstop will go back to make the catch. Schneider grabs it for the first out. The first out here in the bottom of the first inning, and there still is a runner on at first, and it will bring up Cooper Twilliger. Cooper Twilliger had 2 hits with an RBI single in the bottom of the 9th inning. He tripled in the 5th with 1 out, but was left stranded. He singled with 1 out to score a run in the bottom of the 9th, but unable to come around to score. Here's the first pitch to Twilliger. That's a hard ground ball. Right side, that is through the right side for a base hit. Sun and Shine will stop at second. It is first and second here with 1 away. And it will bring up the cleanup man, Charlie Simpson. And again, this is a guy for Ruhr that is going to have you put the ball in play. He didn't have a whole lot of strikeouts during the regular season. He had 11 strikeouts and 21 2/3 innings, so right around, obviously less than one every 2 innings, really, as the first pitch will miss low for ball 1. Simpson went 1 for 5 in the ball game. He doubled in his first at-bat in the bottom of the second. Then was 3 groundouts and a fly out in his last 4 trips to the plate. 1-0 pitch. That'll catch the bottom of the zone for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Sun and Shine on at second. Terwilliger on at first with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. A 1-0 lead for Brookings. The 1-1 from Ruhr. After a long pause, he'll deliver. Simpson will ground that one foul. Slowly rolls over to Coach Iverson. Counts now 1-2. Shadows are out in center and right field. Standing in the shadows in left field is Jay Harris, but that left center field gap still in the sun. Here's a ground ball over to the third base side. Throw to second will get the runner on it out at second in Terwilliger. And that's the only out that they can record. It'll be a fielder's choice, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the first, but that tying run is now 90 feet away for Nolan Peterson. 5-4 on the fielder's choice. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. And here is Nolan Peterson, a chance to tie the game up. Peterson at an RBI, reached on an error, but had the RBI to make it a 2-0 lead for the A's back in the bottom of the third in game 1. And they, his round spot that tripled as he went 0 for 3 to Peterson in game number 1. First pitch is above the letters for ball 1 to Nolan Peterson. Simpson leads away from first. You want to run yourself into that third out. But if he could get to second, Basic could score 2. Peterson will pop this one up right side. Over by the dugouts, and it will land in the dugouts for a foul ball. And the count's 1-1. J.R. Mayer, the assistant coach for Post 8, he took off running towards the dugout, trying to stay out of the way of the first baseman. Frederick trying to make the play. Moving pretty quick. 1-1 pitch now here to Nolan Peterson. Peterson will pop this one foul. This will get out of play. It's now a 1-2 count. And Brewer is strike away from getting out of this first inning unscathed. One-two pitch. That'll bounce. It'll go off the umpire. It missed the catcher in Max Jensen, and it hit the umpire. Obviously, was just standing there. He didn't move. But a horrible break for the Eights at that point, because that was a wild pitch pass ball. That was going to score a run, but it just went off the umpire and it stayed in front. 2-2 pitch will be fouled back to the netting. It remains at 2-2. And that was about as clean of it hitting the umpire, because it did not touch Jensen at all. A lot of times it might skip off the catcher and it goes off the umpire. That one just hit him flush off the dirt, and there was no way to score. 2-2 pitch. Peterson will fly it out towards right center field. Backing up is the center fielder in Christofferson to make the catch and retire the side here in the bottom of the first inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the top of the second. 1-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
As we welcome you back, it is a 1-0 lead for Brookings here in the top of the second. The American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby and scoreboard. It is 5, 6, and 7. Tyson Antonin, Tane Frederick, and then Max Jensen will be the first three hitters. He might reach his base. It'll be Ryan Lockram. Some score updates. We had college softball on earlier today on KCCR. Texas beat Florida 3-0. Oklahoma came back from a 3-1 deficit to win the bottom of the seventh inning with a 4-3 walk-off win. So it'll be Florida and Tennessee battling in the first game tomorrow night with a 6 o'clock first pitch in the first elimination game. Right now, Texas Tech leads Ole Miss 1-0 in the top of the sixth inning with 2 outs. And then it will be Oregon and UCLA. The 2 losers of those games will meet in the elimination game tomorrow night. We'll have both those games for you on KCCR as our College World Series coverage will continue, and then we'll have the Men's College World Series. Here's a base hit in the left field for Tyson Antonin to lead off the top of the second. Third hit of the ball game already for the Bandits. And a runner on first with nobody out to bring up Tane Frederick. New York Knicks have a 20-point lead over Indiana as they get close to the end of the third quarter. If the Knicks win, they will have Game 6 Saturday night, which we would most likely have because the other game, the NHL, that would be playing Saturday nights, the Oilers have a 4-2 lead at the end of 2 periods, and if they win, they will advance to the to the Stanley Cup final to take on Florida. Here's a line shot that's going to be up the middle, back-to-back singles, and it's first and second here with nobody out in the top of the second inning. So those are your score updates around. And again, we'll have College World Series, Women's College World Series action when there's not a NBA or NHL game that would be on the air, and that will be the case tomorrow night for sure. And potentially still Saturday. Indiana could make a 20-point comeback. It's not unlike them to do that in the playoffs. Here's the first pitch now to Max Jensen. There's a ground ball up the middle, stepping in the bag at second for one. The throw to first is going to be in time. It's a 4-3 double play. Parker O'Brien fielded it up the middle. An easy step on the bag. Gets the throw to first. And there's now 2 down. Good twin killing there from the eights. And now there's just a runner on third with 2 away. Second time that the eights have turned a double play here today. First pitch will bounce in. Good block there from Nolan Peterson. First pitch misses for ball 1. Ryan Lockram, the right fielder, his first at-bat of the season. Lockram had just 3 at-bats, or 3 plate appearances last summer. He went 1 for 2 with a single and an RB. He scored a run. As that one will miss, and the count's now 3-0. And Lockram obviously did not play during the spring season for the Bobcats. 3-0 pitch. He was taken all the way. He was backing out of the plate from the batter's box before the pitch crossed the plate, but it was over for a strike, and the count's 3-1. And still good hitters count here for Lockram. Swing and a miss. And it's now 3-2, and from 3-0 now to 3-2, and Buckles trying to get out of this inning after back-to-back singles lead off the inning. 3-2 pitch. That'll miss for ball 4, and it'll get to the backstop, and it'll bring home the second run. So they were close to getting out of this unscathed, but a wild pitch on the walk will make this a 2-0 lead for the Bandits. And now it's Jay Harris. Jay Harris in game 1 of the number 9 spot went 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. First pitch is over for strike one. Two outs and a runner on first, and now a 2-0 advantage here for Brookings. Here's the 0-1. That one's over for a strike. The count's now 0-2. So Huron, who split the doubleheader with Yankton, now splits a doubleheader with Sioux Falls West. After losing the first game, they come back and win 10-6 in game number 2. So they're 2-2 to start the young season. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one misses outside. The count's now 1-2. Here we'll see Sioux Falls West. That'll be at the beginning of July. Be on July 1st. That'll be right before the 4th of July weekend. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-2. They will see Sioux Falls East next Tuesday on the road. And again, there's not too many 5 o'clock doubleheaders scheduled. There are 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, couple 1 o'clock games. This will be cued off the end of the bat, foul by Harris. The final doubleheader at home on July 11th against Watertown. That's a Friday, and that'll be a noon start time, scheduled for a noon start time. 2-2. That one's fouled back. We'll have a 3 o'clock doubleheader here against Sturgis at home. Another 3 o'clock doubleheader against Box Elder. 3 o'clock doubleheader against Rapid City Post 3:20. 2-2. That one bounces in. Peterson is able to block it up. And the count is now full at 3-2. And Lockrum will be off with the pitch. The top of the order is due up. Rather see Trey Christofferson the top of the third than here the top of the second. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. That one is just outside. They will check to see if he went, and he did not swing. And that will be ball 4. And back-to-back walks with 2 outs here in the top of the second. And extends the inning now to Trey Christofferson. Here's the first pitch to Christofferson. That's over for strike 1. Christofferson led off the game with a single. Was thrown out trying to steal second. That one will miss for a ball, and it counts. Well, here's the next pitch up coming here from J.J. Buckles. That one taken for a strike. The count's now 1-2. First and second here with 2 away. Buckles comes set from the stretch and delivers a 1-2. That one will bounce in. Good block there from Peterson. Knock it down in front. Moves the count to 2-2. Buckles will come set, 2-2 pitch. That'll get to the backstop, and it's now a 3-2 count. Another wild pitch makes it second and third. And Christofferson with Schneider on deck. He's got a chance to open up this to a 4-0 lead with a base hit. Here's the 3-2. That'll miss inside. It'll be, like, actually hit him. Either way, it's going to be a free pass. And it loads the bases now with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. Cooper Schneider, the 7th man to come to the plate. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. This has been a kind of a wild inning. It went from back-to-back singles to then a double play to then 2 straight walks with a hit batter. Wild pitch drove in a run, or brought in a run. And now the bases are juiced. First pitch misses upstairs for ball one. Peterson tried to frame it, but it missed too high. "1-0 from Buckles. That's also upstairs, and the count's 2-0. Lockram is over at third, Harris at second, and Christofferson at first. 2-0. Also missing, and the count's now 3-0. Buckles got to find it, nowhere to put Schneider. No activity right now in the right field bullpen. 3-0 pitch will be over for strike, and the count's 3-1. Obviously, Buckles can still get out of this inning with only one run given up. He's got 3-1 count on Schneider. 3-1 pitch. Misses for ball four, and it'll walk in a run. It's now a 3-0 lead. So the bases remain loaded. That's the fourth free pass in a row. 3 walks and hit batter, which also would have been a walk anyway. It was a 3-2 count. And Coach Iverson walking his way out to have a conversation with J.J. Buckles on the lineup card in his hand right now. And trying to settle down his pitcher. Buckles is actually going to come out of the ball game. So that Buckles will go just an inning and 2/3. He will leave with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And we'll see then now where everybody goes. We'll tell you the changes coming up. Looks like Hudson Stosher's coming in the ball game. So we'll tell you the changes when we come back after this minute break. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Pottsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
So it is now Dawson Getz that is on the mound with a 3-0 ball game here in the top of the second inning. The bases are loaded, and Getz has work in front of him. He can go just one batter here in this inning and get out of it. But anything that's not an out returns more runs for Brookings. Hudson Stosher is in the game. He will play shortstop. Everybody else will stay the same, which then the DH and Sutton Sunshine, he will be out of the game. And so Jace Bauer now comes to the plate. And here is Jace Bauer. First pitch is over for strike one. Dawson Getz, as he pitched last summer, through 15 1/3 innings. He had 1 start and 8 relief appearances. 0-1 pitch is fouled back and is quickly 0-2. He was 0-3 overall, 21 hits, 18 runs, 14 of them earned, 7 walks, 12 strikeouts. ERA was at 6.39, whip at 1.83. That one misses low for a ball. Batting average against it, 318 for Dawson Getz. One-two count to Jace Bauer. The base is loaded, and 2 outs here in the top of the second. This will be skied right field. Backing up is O'Brien. He will call for it, and he'll make the catch to retire the side here in the top of the second. So 2 runs score in the inning. They will leave the bases loaded on just 2 hits overall in the inning. We head to the bottom of the second, 3-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
Bottom of the second, 3-0 lead of the American Family Insurance. Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. Be Ridge Leinbach, Grayson Hunsley, and Porter Hunsley, the first 3 hitters here in this second inning, and the 8th half work in front of them. Dawson Guest did a good job of limiting the damage in that second inning, getting the 1 man that he faced. J.J. Buckles officially goes an inning in 2/3, giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned, 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Here's the first pitch to Ridge Leinbach in the bottom of the second, and that will miss for ball 1. Leinbach, Grayson Hunsley, Porter Hunsley. 1-0 pitch. That'll bounce in, and the count's now 2-0. All 3 are cousins. And Bert Hunsley, that's when you get 3 grandsons all getting to play and watching. You can see 3 grandsons all playing together, and obviously, you know, none of them are brothers either, as it counts 3-0 now to Ridge Leinbach. Got to be pretty cool for Leinbach, for the Leinbach family, for the Hunsley family, both Hunsley families. See all the family that is out on the field at the same time, and all 3 are back to back in the batting order as it counts 3-1. 3-1 count here to Ridge Leinbach. The 3-1 pitch. Leinbach does not offer, you know, they will say he swung. On the counts now 3-2. Full count to Ridge Leinbach. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That'll miss for ball 4, so it still results in a walk anyway for Leinbach. And leadoff man is on base for the second time in as many innings for the Eights, and they've got to find a way to score that run. Here's Grayson Hunsley. Hunsley in game number 1, he went 0 for 4, 2 groundouts, 2 flyouts, and he drew a walk in that 9th inning. The 5 plate appearances he had in that first game. Here's the first pitch to Hunsley, showing bunt. Bunts it down the first base line. It was a good one. Leinbach will start to round second. Nobody was covering third for a moment. Hunsley is tagged out, and there is 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning. So sacrifice is good, 3 unassisted. And it's now Porter Hunsley to the plate. Porter Hunsley went 1 for 3. He singled to lead off the top of the bottom of the 8th inning. And he also flew out to the left and popped out of the shortstop. Fake the pickoff to second. Hunsley and O'Brien, the number 8 and 9 hitters, which are also the same here in game 2. They're the only 2 guys that did not get 5 plate appearances in that first game First pitch will miss low for ball one. Bottom of the second inning, a 3-0 lead for Brookings. 1-0 pitch. That'll be upstairs, and the count's 2-0. The A's led 2-0 in game one before falling 5-3 in 9 innings, and now Brookings takes the first lead of game two. Here's the 2-0. That'll be upstairs, and the count's now 3-0 here to Porter Hunsley. Parker O'Brien, then back to the top of the order, but it'll be Hudson Stosher that will hit first. So really, you're going to see 10 different hitters before you start seeing somebody again. Second time through the lineup. 3-0 pitch. That one will miss for ball four. Second walk now of the inning, and it's first and seconds with one out in the bottom of the second inning. Here's Parker O'Brien. O'Brien went 0 for 2. He reached on the air in the third, and he drew 2 walks, so he had been on base 3 of the 4 times he came to the plate. He struck out swinging in the bottom of the 8th inning. Base hit could make this a 3-1 ball game. First pitch is over for strike one from Ruhr. And it's Hudson Stosher that is on deck. He is in place of Sudden Sunshine, who was the DH, but was taken out of the game when Dawson Getz came to pitch. Stosher is the new shortstop for the Governors, or for the Eights. Almost made it through one full doubleheader, the first full doubleheader without calling them the Governors. There's a line shot towards right field, sinking, but making the catch is the right fielder in Lockram. And so now there are 2 down. It remains first and second for now Hudson Stosher. Stosher got one at bats. He popped out in foul territory to the pitcher. First pitch will bounce in for ball one. As he looks for his first hit here of the young summer season. First and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That'll miss inside. Count is now 2-0. Outfield straight away for Stosher. The 2-0. That'll be at the top of the zone for a strike. Counts now to 2-1. Lineback on at second after a leadoff walk. Moved there on a sacrifice bunt from Grayson Hunsley. Porter Hunsley then walked, and a fly out by O'Brien. This will miss low, and the count moves to now 3-1. Dawson Getz is on deck. Three-one pitch from Ruhr to Stosher will miss for ball four. And that is the third walk of the inning. It loads the bases. And now it's Dawson Getz to the plate, who finds a gap and can tie the game up with one swing. Getz popped out of the shortstop. And his first at bat, here's the first pitch to him. Swings through it for strike one. Trying to pass it along to Terwilliger, and also meaning a run would score. Just one hit so far. That was Terwilliger back in the bottom of the first inning. This will be high and inside over the top of the head of Getz. And jumping up to make the grab was Jensen to keep this a 3-0 game. Otherwise, a run was scoring, and then Getz was only just a single away from tying the game up. 1-1 pitch. This will be popped foul out of play. Count goes now 1-2. Bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taken at the top of the zone for strike 3, and it retires to the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 3 men left on base. 2 complete here at Hyde Stadium. 3-0 lead for Brookings over Post State. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your healthcare is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
It is the top of the third in a 3-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. It is 4, 5, and 6. Winston Plummer, Tyson Antonin, and Tane Frederick be the first 3 hitters. Max Jensen would follow if anybody reaches base. As we are set to go here in the third inning of game number 2 of our doubleheader. As we just get past sunset time here in the capital city. After a 9-inning first game, where the Bandits came back from a 2-0 deficit to win it 5-3. They take a 3-0 lead here early in the top of the third inning, and the Eights find themselves behind the 8 ball as the count's 2-0 from Dawson Getz to Winston Plummer. It's the 5th pitcher used now for Post State today. 2-0 pitch. This will be fouled straight back our way, but hits the netting, and the count's 2-1. Now, if you stay under 80 pitches, which Will Danberg was not under 80 pitches, but everybody else has been, that you are available to throw on Tuesday. Actually, everybody will be available to throw on Tuesday. That would be 4 days of rest between Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. As it counts 2-2 now here to Winston Plummer. So everybody will be available regardless of how things work, or shake out. But then Tuesday, you don't really, you have in the back of your mind about the weekend, but you don't try and get guys out. Maybe, if they're dealing, you don't want to need to get guys out just to save arms for the weekend. You want to go get wins, especially because there's only one game that matters. As Plummer will shoot this one out towards the right center field gap. That'll get all the way out to the wall. Plummer will round first on his way to second. Simpson will fire it in. It's going to be a stand-up leadoff double for Winston Plummer. A leadoff man on base. They kick off the top of the third straight inning. It's been a hit to lead off the inning for Brookings. Here is Tyson Antonin, who singled and then came in to score. Back in the top of the second, he's 1 for 1. First pitch over for strike 1. The Eights in the bottom of the third of the meat of the order, 3, 4, and 5, with Terwilliger, Simpson, and Peterson. Find themselves in early trouble here in the third. Leadoff man in scoring position. Showing bunt, pulling it back. They say that he went, did Antonin. He didn't pull it back in time. And the count's now 0-2. Might be a little bit of some help for the Eights right there. They got to take advantage of that. 0-2 pitch. That one will bounce in. And the count's now 1-2. Winston Plummer will lead away from second. Anthony will look to drive him in. 1-2 pitch. It'll be off the glove of Peterson. Plummer will get to third. And now it's a 2-2 count. And only Plummer 90 feet away from making it a 4-0 game here at the top of the third. Looking for a strikeout here is Dawson Getz. This is only the third batter he has faced. And a ground ball up the middle. That'll be a base hit to make it a 4-0 lead. Antonin's got an RBI. As Plummer will score easily. And Antonin's also 2 for 2 so far in the ball game. And that will bring up Tate Frederick. He singled. Was retired on the double play in the top of the second inning. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike one. Getz came in with the bases loaded and 2 outs at the top of the second and got Bauer, who had a solo shot in the first, to pop out to end the inning. And then the next 2 guys have both gotten hits off of Getz. There's a swing and a miss by Frederick and a curveball that hit the dirt. And he broke the plane for a strike 2. Working from the stretch, here's the 0-2 pitch now from Getz. That was fouled at the plate. And it will remain at 0-2 count. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors. So far for Brookings, no runs, a hit, and no errors for the Eights. Oh, 2 pitch again. Taken for strike 3, and there is the first out here at the top of the third inning. One down to bring up Max Jensen, who grounded into the 4-3 double play back in the top of the second inning. I'd love to see that again to get through this inning. 1 run has already scored here in the top of the third. 4-0 in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard. That was chopped off the plate. No chance for a double play. Getz will field, has to throw it quick, and it will be off the glove of Terwilliger, and it will go all the way out towards the right field wall, and then they will throw it in, does Terwilliger, and the run does not score. Coach Roach was waving him in. But it'll end up going down as a throwing error from Dawson Getz. First error of the ball game for the Eights. And it's second and third with 1 out. And now here's Ryan Lockram, who walked in his first trip to the plate. First pitch is over for strike 1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's over for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Lockram. Jay Harris waits on deck. The big strikeout opportunity here for Getz. The 0-2. That one just misses. Buckled Lockram a little bit, but he didn't offer at it. And the count moves to 1-2. 1-2 from Getz. That'll miss low and away, and the count's now 2-2. Second and third with one away. 2-2 pitch. That'll be upstairs, and from 0-2 now to 3-2. And Jay Harris is on deck, who also drew a walk in his first trip to the plate. 3-2 pitch incoming from Getz. Misses for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And now it's Jay Harris to the plate. Nowhere to put him. Like a ground ball, maybe nice soft hopper back to Getz to start a 1-2-3 double play to get out of the inning. Here is the first pitch. Over for strike 1 to Harris. Harris so far, that was the first time that he reached base. He's 0 for 4 today, all coming in game number 1. Getz will step off. And now he'll go from the windup. 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low. Eights are danger territory right now here at the top of the third inning. Big crooked number will put this game into out of reach, as there's a swing and a miss. The count's now 1-2, but make it really tough to come back from. And start to put more of Brookings feel like they can maybe win in a 10-run rule. Here's the 1-2. That one will bounce in. Good block there from Peterson. Keeps the runner at third, and Antonin standing over there. Antonin's at third, Jensen at second, and Lockram at first. Here's the 2-2. That one's out towards right field. That is through for a base hit. 1 run will score. They will hold up the second runner. And it's station to station to make it a 5-0 lead here for Brookings. RBI is single for Jay Harris, his first hit today. Second run of the inning, and the bases remain loaded here with 1 out. And now it's the top of the order for Trey Christofferson. Christofferson has been on base both times. This will get to the backstop. Still got a chance to get him. The throw and the tag is going to be in time to get him. Looked like maybe it was Jensen that got the foot to the back first before the tag was applied, but they do get the runner out at the plate. Unconventional way to get the second out, but it does work. And so there's now 2 down, runners at second and third. A wild pitch turns into an out. That one's over for a strike, and the count's 1-1 here to Trey Christofferson. Single to lead off the ball game. Was thrown out trying to steal second, then it was walked in the second inning. That will go off the glove of Peterson. That will result in a run scoring. And it's now a 5-0 lead, making that 6-0 lead here for the Bandits. We have pass ball that scores the run. Counts now 2-1, and still a runner on at third. That'll miss, and the count's now 3-1. 3-1 pitch. Christofferson draws. Nope, that is not a walk. It'll be strike 2. He had tossed the bats. I was ready to put him on base as well, but the count's now full at 3-2. Grounded foul. That was chasing after Jay Harris. He was able to avoid it. And the count remains full at 3-2. Three-two from Getz again. That'll be fouled out of play. Another full count pitch. Harris is on at third. Christofferson, the 7th man to come to the plate in this 3rd inning. 3-2 pitch. Will miss for ball 4. And it's 1st and 3rd now here with 2 away. And it's now Cooper Schneider who drew a walk in his last trip to the plate. Schneider is 0 for 1. Struck out swinging in the 1st inning and then drew the walk in the 2nd. This is the 3rd time through the batting order here in just the 3rd inning. That one will be at the bottom of the zone for a strike to Schneider. Let's see if Christofferson takes off and try and get in scoring position. He was thrown out once already here in this ball game. Here's the 0-1 from Getz. Christofferson not running. That is fouled to the left of us in the Hyde Stadium press box. That counts 0-2. Gets a strike away from getting out of this inning. Giving this a 6-0 deficit. 0-2 pitch. Christofferson takes off. The pitch is low for a ball. Christofferson steals it standing up. And it's now 2nd and 3rd. The 1-2 counts. Here is the 1-2 from Getz. Misses outside. And now the deuces are wild here in the top of the 3rd. 2 on and 2 outs with a 2-2 pitch to the number 2 man in the batting order, Cooper Schneider. Getz will step off and regather. Harris still over at 3rd. Now Christofferson on at 2nd. 2-2 pitch. That'll get to the backstop. It will hit the padding, so another run will score on a wild pitch. To make it now a 7-0 ball game. And the count is now full. 1 run in the 1st and the solo shot from Jace Bauer, and then 2 runs in the 2nd, now 4 here in the 3rd. Three-two pitch. Swing and a miss, and that will finally retire the side. 8 guys come to the plate, 4 men score in the inning for Brookings in a 7-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Back in a minute on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
YAG Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag chemical and seed retailer. YAG Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. YAG Air for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle 605-280-8710 or Tony 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
It is the bottom of the 3rd. It is a 7-0 lead of the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebein scoreboard, as it will be for the 8s, 3, 4, and 5. Cooper Twilliger, Charlie Simpson, and Nolan Peterson. He might reach his base. He'll then go to Rich Leimbach. And the 8s find themselves down by a touchdown in the bottom of the 3rd, but a lot of game left. Again, this pitcher for Brookings, who Ruger's been good for the first 2 innings, but a guy that doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, makes you put the ball in play. And in the spring season at a 340 batting average against, so that gives you a chance here in the game. You got to be able to kind of bring back what Brewer was doing in that spring season. One, you got to put the ball in play, and hits can start falling for you. First pitch to Cooper Twilliger will miss for ball one. He did single. He's got the lone hit so far through 2 innings, though, for the Eights. Here's the 1-0. That'll bounce in. The count's now 2-0. Seven nothing is our score here in the bottom of the third. Twilliger, Simpson, Peterson, 3, 4, and 5 here for the Eights. Swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-1. Two-one here from Brewer. There's a ground ball to the right side. It'll be fielded by the second baseman. Though to first will be in time. And the leadoff man retired as Antonin throws out to Twilliger. One down here in the bottom of the third. And we'll bring up now Charlie Simpson. Grounded into a fielder's choice in his first at-bat back in the bottom of the first inning. The Eights had a chance to tie the game up in that bottom of the first inning. Had first and third with 2 outs. Did not bring in the tying run. And then since then have been outscored by 6 in the last 2 innings. That was the top of the zone for a strike. Counts 1-1. We're dealing from the windup and delivers the 1-1 pitch. That one's fouled off the mitts of Jensen. The count's now 1-2. Again, Post State will take on Sioux Falls East on Tuesday. Coverage at 3:45 and 4 o'clock first pitch of the doubleheader from Harmon Park in Sioux Falls. It's Post 15 East. Then they will travel out to the other side of the state in Rapid City. 1-2. That'll be above Simpson. Drops the bat so it doesn't go off of the bat, and the count's now 2-2. Well, they will play 4 games between Thursday, 2 games on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and 1 Saturday. And then they'll end up having a game on Sunday, depending on where they finish in the pool. And they travel back out to Spearfish. Will be on Wednesday for a 4 o'clock Central Time doubleheader. Then they go out to Dickinson for a weekend. It was supposed to be a tournament. Turns into more just playing several games out that weekend in Dickinson. 2-2. Simpson will foul that one out of play. Then back home against Sturgis on June 17th for a 3 o'clock doubleheader before they travel to Renner on that Thursday, and then Harrisburg on Sunday the 22nd. Another Wednesday trip to Sturgis on the 25th. Home on the Friday against Box Elder on the 27th. Get Sioux Falls West before. This will be out towards right field down the line, and that will land fair as it will get all the way out to the wall. Simpson on his way to second. It'll be picked up. Simpson on his way to third. The throw, there won't be a throw. It'll be a stand-up triple for Charlie Simpson, his second extra base hit of the doubleheader. And the Eights have a run in scoring position here with less than 2 outs. Another triple for Post Eights. They had 2 triples and a double in the game to make that 3 triples in game number 1. Trevor Rounds, Cooper Twilliger, and Sutton Sunshine each had a triple, and then Simpson had a double in there as well. And now you had a 4th triple today by the 4th different guy to pick up a triple. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one's over for a strike to Nolan Peterson. Counts 0-2. And the spring season, Post State had the Pierre Governors had just 10 triples overall. They had 28 extra base hits. Had themselves 5 here in this doubleheader alone. Counts now 1-2 here to Peterson, but they've got to find a way to score those runs. Of the 4 triples, which this one is still the 4th, they've scored 2 of those 3 runs. Peterson will foul tip it for a strike 3. And there's now 2 down, and it's now up to Rich Leinbach to drive in the run at third. Leinbach drew a walk. He got to third base, but did not score. It was second and third. Actually, the bases were loaded in the bottom of the second, and the Eights didn't score. Leinbach first pitch swinging ground ball right off the mound. It'll be taken by Ruhr. The throw to first will almost get wide, and that will retire the side here in the bottom of the third inning. So a 1-out triple does not come in to score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and another man left on base. 3 completes here at Hyde Stadium. Post 8 is down 7-0 to Brookings. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Summer is here, and Beck Motor Company is stepping up to the plate. As a proud supporter of Legion Baseball, we're hitting it out of the park with unbeatable deals on the Chevy and Cadillac vehicles. Whether you're looking for the power of a Chevy Silverado or the luxury of a Cadillac Escalade, Beck Motor Company has the perfect ride for you. So swing by today. Take your game and your drive to the next level. Beck Motor Company, your local Chevy and Cadillac dealer. Proud to support our youth and ready to put you behind the wheel of your dream vehicle. www.beck-motors.com. 605-224-5912.
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
Braden Hulett will take over on the mound now for Post 8, as he will be the third pitcher to be used in this second game, as Dawson Getz goes just those couple innings in relief, as we'll get a total on what Getz did, an inning and a third in total for Getz, giving up 4 runs, all of them earned on 3 hits. It was 2 walks and 2 strikeouts for Dawson Getz, who will move back over the shortstop spots. And it looks like that means then we'll see Hulett go in the leadoff spot. And take the place of Hudson Stosher. So it is Braden Hulett on the mound, and for Hulett, we get you what he did last year. 26 innings in 6 appearances. He had 4 starts. Went 0-3 overall, 40 hits, 31 runs, 26 of them earned, 25 walks, 8 strikeouts. An ERA at 7, a whip at 2.5, and a batting average against at 354. And Jace Bauer will be the first man to greet him here in the top of the 4th inning. 3, 4, and 5. Bauer, Winston Plummer, and Tyson Antonin, as the lefty will throw for the first time since the end of last summer. First pitch will come over for strike 1. He is, obviously, he's in the batting order right now, but for the most part will be used as a pitcher only. Although, again, you know, the way the game dictates, he might have to still swing the bat a couple times, as that one's over for a strike that counts 0-2. He's also helping coach one of the Legion teams as well. And the 0-2 pitch now from Braden Hulett here to Jace Bauer. That'll be outside and it counts 1-2. But it is good to see Hulett, one of those super seniors. All 3 super seniors got in here in this first game or first doubleheader. Here's the 1-2. There's a long fly ball by Bauer out to left field that is going to get off the wall for extra bases. A throw back in from Leinbach. Stand-up double for Bauer. And Brookings is already in business here with nobody out. Another leadoff double. That is the 4th hit from the leadoff man in 4 innings. And it brings up Winston Plummer. So the Edmonton Oilers, they're moving on to the Stanley Cup Final. They won 6-3 over Dallas. They win it in 5 games. So the Stanley Cup Final is set between Florida and Edmonton. We will wait to see who or when they will play Game 1. But the Eastern Conference Final will continue. New York won at home over Indiana, 111-94. So they will play at 7 o'clock Saturday night. We'll have coverage for you at 6:30. And a 7 o'clock tip-off of Game 6. Monday would be Game 7. If necessary, New York will have to win in Indiana to force that to happen. And then Thursday, June 5th, will be Game 1 of the NBA Finals. First pitch will be upstairs to Winston Plummer for ball 1. Softball-wise, Texas Tech held on to win 1-0 over Ole Miss. Oregon and UCLA are just about set for first pitch of that game. Here's the 1-0. That's over for a strike. It counts 1-1 here to Winston Plummer. So again, tomorrow night we'll have college softball, the elimination games. Make that Florida against Tennessee, and then Ole Miss will take on the loser of Oregon and UCLA. We'll have coverage starting at 6 o'clock tomorrow night on KCCR. 1-1 pitch. That's a line shot into left field for a base hit. Rounding third, they will hold the runner at third base as Leinbach throws it in quickly. And so there is a runners at first and third with nobody out near the top of the fourth. And it's Tyson Antonin to the plate. So Antonin, who is already 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Chance to add on to it. The first 2 guys have reached with a double and a single. Here's the first pitch to Tyson Antonin. That'll get to the backstop, and a run will come in to score. Another wild pitch scoring another runner to make it 8-0. So Antonin doesn't get that 1 RBI opportunity, but still has a man in scoring position. Here's the 1-0 now from Hulett. That'll be catching the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Plummer now at second, as he is 2 for 3. Bauer's also 2 for 3 with 2 extra base hits. 1-1. That'll be fouled back to the netting, and the count's 1-2. Well, Post State, the first game was in their favor until that 6th inning. They had 2 chances to win it in the 7th and 8th by just scoring 1 run, didn't get the job done, and lost in 9, and then it's kind of snowballed into an 8-0 deficit here in the top of the 4th with nobody out and still a runner at second base. Already a run has crossed the plate here in the 4th inning, and the count's now 2-2. Plummer will lead away from second. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Antonin. That one just misses. Antonin won that offer at it, did not. And it was called a ball, and the count's now 3-2. Full count pitch coming here from Hulett to Antonin. That one taken for strike 3, and Hulett will get the strikeout. First time that Antonin's been retired in this game. 1 down here at the top of the 4th, and it brings up Tane Frederick. He is 1 for 2, singled in the top of the 2nd, struck out looking in the 3rd. Here's the first pitch from Hulett. That one will miss high and outside for ball one. That was 13th pitch of the outing for Braden Houlettes. Again, everybody will be available on Tuesday to throw, regardless of how many pitches you throw in this doubleheader. This one will miss. The count be 2-0 now here to Frederick. Max Jensen, Ryan Lockram, Jay Harris. Next couple guys on deck for this Brookings Bandits team, who lead 8-0 here in the top of the fourth. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's upstairs, and the count's now 3-0. I think we'll try to get back to talking about what's on the air. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock, we've got the 2 softball games. Saturday, we'll have, I believe, it will be Oklahoma and Florida that will play first, or excuse me, Oklahoma and Texas that will play first in the still double elimination game. It's over for striking this now 3-1. Then at 6:30, we've got coverage of Indiana and New York for Game 6. Then on Sunday, we'll have 2 more elimination games for Women's College World Series. Then Monday, we'll see where things are at. Maybe we could have a potential 4 softball games still. That'll hit Frederick, and it's now first and second. And then we'll bring up Max Jensen. And have those games to be played. It could be Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final. But then we know Tuesday we'll have the doubleheader against Sioux Falls East on the road. Dylan Simmons will have the call for you. Here's the first pitch. That is upstairs, and the count's 1-0. Jensen 0 for 2, grounded out and also reached on an air in his 2 trips to the plate. Here's the 1-0. That is fouled back. Evens the count of the ball and a strike. The 8s of the bottom of the 4th inning will have Grayson Hunsley, Porter Hunsley, and Parker O'Brien. 7, 8, and 9. That'll be due up. Activity out in the right field bullpen for the 8s. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, and the count's now 2-1. First and second with 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Who let a ground ball can get you out of the inning, and see if the 8's bats can come alive here in the bottom of the 4th. 2-1. That'll bounce in, and the count is now at 3-1. On deck is Ryan Lockram, who has walked twice so far. (3-1) here from Houlettes to Lockram. Make that to Jensen. That'll draw now to Lockram as he walks him. And the bases are loaded. With 1 away, Ryan Lockram to the plate. 2 walks so far for Lockram. He's scored both times he's walked. Houlette will now work from the windup. Here's the first pitch over for strike 1. You get back to the windup for Houlette. A little bit of a, thinking about, I don't want to say thinking about it more, but just a different approach to the plate. Kind of helps you get back into the rhythm. A 1 pitch will bounce in, and the count's now 1-1. Charlie Simpson blocks it up. Bases are loaded here with 1 away in the top of the 4th. Here is the 1-1 pitch. That is upstairs. Now 2-1. Two-one pitch. That is also missing upstairs. 3-1 the count. Lockram, who again last summer had just 3 plate appearances, went 1 for 2. Has been walked in his first 2 plate appearances. The 3-1 pitch will walk him again, and it will draw in another run to make it a 9-0 game. The bases will remain loaded. It looks like we might have a pitching change, as Jay Harris, number 9 man of the batting order, will come to the plate, as Coach Iverson will make the walk out to the mound. 9-0 our score here with 1 out in the top of the 4th inning. We'll tell you the change coming up after this. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Post-State Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Has it been years since you've been to the dentist? Are you afraid to see a dentist? If so, you are among many people who feel this way. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer of Missouri River Dentistry. At our office, we pride ourselves as an office that uses a personal touch to offer gentle dentistry, tailored to fit each patient's needs. We do so by utilizing state-of-the-art equipment and methods which allow the patients to feel comfortable. So whether it has been many years or 6 months since your last dental visit, your oral health is important. We invite you to call us at Missouri River Dentistry, 223-2021, 223-2021.
As South Dakota's oldest auto dealer, it's our 118th anniversary. Stop by and sign up for drawings, prizes, beef bucks. You save thousands with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram employee pricing, plus incentives for everyone. Buick GMC incentives up to $62.50. Plus, all of our new vehicles in stock are tariff-free. Check out our huge selection of used vehicles at our 118th anniversary on the windshields and at WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, your one place to go for sales and service, 118 years in Pierre.
It is the top of the 4th still. Bases are loaded with 1 out, and it's now going to be Trevor Rounds to the plate, to the mound, to try and work through this bases loaded jam. Braden Hulett, you can't close the door on him yet or close the book on him. He goes a third of an inning, giving up 2 hits. He's responsible for all 3 guys on base right now, 2 walks and a strikeout, also hitting a man. And now the 4th pitcher to be used. Hudson Stosher is out in right field. So Getz is back at short. Stosher is out in right. Simpson is at the plate, behind the plate. So that means Rounds is in the spot for Nolan Peterson. And the bases are loaded here for the number 9 man, Jay Harris. He is the 7th man to come to the plate here in this top of the 4th inning. Who let end up throwing 27 pitches, gets through 45 after Buckles through 48. And now Rounds' first pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Rounds last year in the summertime through 21 2/3 innings in 11 appearances. That was tied for the team high in appearances. That one will miss, and it counts 2-0. As he had 3 starts, gave up 22 hits, 36 runs, only 28 of them earned. 26 walks, 15 strikeouts, 9.05 ERA, 2.22 whip. And this will be grounded through the left side and through for a base hit. 1 run will score. They will hold the second runner up. And it's now a 9, make that a 10-0 lead. Here in the top of the 4th inning, an RBI single for Harris, second RBI single in as many at-bats. And the bases are still loaded here in the top of the 4th. And it's now Trey Christofferson. And again, the other 2 runners at 2nd and 3rd, they are still being charged to Hulett. As the first pitch will miss for ball 1. So we're now, Brookings has a 10-0 lead. They, without allowing run in the next 6 outs that they get, they could win in 5 innings. Post State will have to score a couple of runs to try and extend the ball game out past the 4th. Counts 2-0 here to Christofferson. 2-0 pitch. Over for a strike. Bases are loaded here with one out in the top of the fourth inning. Rounds delivers from the windup. Taken for a strike, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rounds looking for a strikeout. Be big right now with the 8th man to come to the plate. Cooper Schneider on deck. 2-2. Ground ball to the left side. Will feel the throw to second, will be just in time to get the force out at second. Does score another run. And is now first and third with 2 away, and it's Cooper Schneider to the plate. RBI fielder's choice on a 6-4 ground out. And now it's Schneider. Schneider, he is 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts so far. Also drew a walk in there as well. 11-0 advantage here for Brookings in the top of the fourth inning. First pitch from Rounds. Just above the letters for ball 1. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Past 10 o'clock on this Thursday night. Jen Brazilius back at the studios. 1-0 pitch. And it's now a 2-0 count. 1 run in the first inning for Brookings. It was a solo shot from Jace Bauer. They scored 2 runs in the second, added on 4 in the third, another 4 runs here in the fourth to make this an 11-0 ball game here in game 2 of our doubleheader. 2-0 pitch. That'll hit Schneider, and the bases are loaded. That one got him as he tried to jump out of the way. Makes it the bases loaded. And got him near the ankle, but then also how he fell to the ground, too, probably didn't help either. But the bases are now loaded for Bauer, who led off the inning with a double. And so now Bauer's got a chance to open things up. Well, not even open things up, but he had a chance to add on to his good day. With already a 2 for 3 second game with 2 extra base hits, a home run, and a double. Counts 1-0. Also singled home a run in the top of the 9th inning. In game number 1, here's the 1-0 pitch. Bauer skies this one out in the left field. Long run coming in, foul territory, but actually will land in fair territory. Leinbach overran it and landed on the line. And 2 runs will score. Make this a 13-0 ball game. So 2 runs score. It's still second and third. Ends up going down. Winston Plummer now to the plate. He singled after the Bauer double. Be upstairs for ball 1. Scored in a double, 2 RBIs for Bauer. 3 RBIs now in the ball game for Bauer. That'll get to the backstop behind Plummer. Scoring another run to make it a 14-0 ball game. And so now runner on at just third with 2 away. A 7-run top of the 4th inning, and still threatening with another runner in scoring position over at third base. 2-0 is upstairs, and the count's now 3-0. Plummer is 2 for 2 so far, or 2 for 3 so far, a double and a single. 3-0 pitch, taking all the way, takes it for a strike. 3-1 pitch from Rounds now to Plummer. That will hit him right on the elbow. That did not sound good. And it's now first and third. Second man that Rounds has hit. And Plummer just goes to the dugout, so they will have someone run for him and take the spot of Plummer as a DH. Now it's first and third. Looks like Breck Wilson. So Breck Wilson will be in the spot of Plummer. And here's Tyson Antonin. He's 2 for 3. RBI single back in the top of the third inning. Struck out looking in the fourth earlier in the inning. First pitch is over for strike one. First and third with 2 away here in the top of the fourth inning. 14-0 lead for Brookings here in game 2. A 0-1 pitch. That'll be upstairs, and the count's now 1-1. Post 8 again, 7, 8, 9 will be due up in the bottom of the fourth inning. They've got a lot of work in front of them. At least right now in the next 2 innings, they got to score 5 runs, now make it 6 runs, as the wild pitch will score another to make it a 15-0 game. 8th run to score in the inning for Brookings. And so a 2-1 count with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Breck Wilson, who is running for Winston Plummer, who was hit by the pitch. Here's the 2-1 as he stands at second, does Wilson, and then counts now 3-1. Shane Frederick is on deck. Right now it's one that I wouldn't say short memory because you play on Tuesday, but you're going to be able to get it out of the system quickly and get back to work tomorrow and in the next week. It's a long summer, and you can't let one doubleheader define you, especially one game of that doubleheader define you. Ground ball on the left side. That is going to get through for a base hit. They will send the runner from third. The throw to the plate will be up the line, sliding in safely to make it a 16-0 game. And then taking second on the throw was Antonin as he gets an RBI single with 2 outs. So a 9-run top of the fourth inning. And Tate Frederick will continue. $16-0 here in the top of the fourth inning. First pitch to Frederick will swing and a miss for strike one. And right now, you know, the eights, they get 2 more chances to hit, regardless of what the score is. Still have to have good at-bats. You know, the lead feels insurmountable and could very well be insurmountable, but doesn't mean that you can take at-bats off and not care in the bottom half of the inning. Going to be able to take strong at-bats that can build into next Tuesday. You can quickly get into a slump when you take one at-bat off. All of a sudden, a slump can happen. It's important for these guys, especially 7, 8, and 9 in the order, and Grayson Hunsley, Porter Hunsley, Parker O'Brien, first 3 hitters, to come to the plate and expect to get base hits. There's a swing and a miss. Simpson will have to throw it to first, and that will take care of the inning. So a 9-run top of the fourth makes this a 16-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Back in a minute. You listen to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
As it is the bottom of the fourth inning, and Post-State is down 16-0 on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. Kyson Ruhr is still on the mound after a long top of the fourth inning, as he will have Bridger Babcock that will lead things off for Post-State. So Bridger Babcock will lead it off. Porter Hunsley will bat second. Looks like Parker O'Brien will hit as well. So Bridger Babcock will get a chance to swing for the first time here in this summer. Leading off the bottom of the fourth inning. And for Bridger Babcock last year, he ended up hitting .211 for the Eights. 8 for 38 overall, 3 runs driven in. And over the course of the spring season, he went 3 for 20, 150 batting average, doesn't have a double, and 4 runs driven in for Bridger Babcock as the lefty digs in and waits on the first pitch from Ruhr. That one's over for strike one. So again, right now, Post-State would have to score 7 runs over the next 2 innings, at least 7 runs right now over the next 2 innings, to extend it into the 6th. As they trail it 16-0 as Babcock is hit by the pitch. And the leadoff man is on to kick off the bottom of the fourth inning. And we'll bring up Porter Hunsley. Hunsley walked in his only trip to the plate. As he digs in for the first time, there's a first pitch, second time, excuse me, the first pitch will miss low for ball 1. So Ruhr, after the long break between the third and fourth inning, hasn't started off as sharp as he would like, but that pitch is over for a strike. The count's 1-1. Both 320 will sweep Aberdeen 4-3 in the second game. They won the first game earlier. Off the top of my head, don't remember the final score of that first game. When the Legion season really underway, Tuesday was some of the first games. So here's a ground ball to the right side. It'll be fielded by Frederick. He'll toss the first. And they had said safe at first, but then it is an out at first base. And there's one down here in the bottom of the fourth. And it's 3-1 on the ground out. Good job there by the pitcher Ruhr to be covering. And just barely got his foot on the bag in time. So now here is Parker O'Brien. And the first pitch swinging, he'll pop that one foul out of play. He flew out to the right fielder in his first at-bats. Hudson Stosher will get his second chance to swing the bat. He is on deck. That was over for strike 2. Bridger Babcock now at second. on the ground ball that was somewhat like a sacrifice, but obviously does not go down as a sacrifice play. Hawaii Zap were swept in a doubleheader today after being rained out Wednesday. They get swept, so they will have their home opener coming up on Saturday, as that'll be fouled out of play, remaining at 0-2. Base hit from O'Brien could score the first run for the Eights. Just 2 hits so far for Post Eights. Single by Twilliger and a triple by Charlie Simpson. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a foul tip into the mitt for a strikeout. And there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it's back to the top of the order, and it's going to be Hudson Stoscher. Stoscher walked, and the top spot in the batting order has been pretty good for the Eights. 3 walks combined, 3 hits combined. Only been retired once in the 7 trips to the plate. Here's the first pitch. As upstairs for ball 1 to Hudson Stoscher. Trevor Rounds would be in Nolan Peterson's spots. So he would hit, he's due up 5th now from Hudson Stoscher. This will be popped up on the right side. Foul territory. Frederick will give way to the second baseman, who cannot make the catch. And the inning will be extended out. As the second baseman in Antonin called off Frederick at the last moment, but did not make the basket catch. And there's 2 down and 1-1 count. Still 2 down here, 1-1 count. Here to Hudson Stoscher. Here's the 1-1. That was at the top of the zone for a strike. Count goes now 1-2. Brewer looking for a 4th clean inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll miss upstairs. Able to stay with it. Looks like it's Ryder Anderson that's behind the plate now in place of Max Jensen. Now here's a 2-2. Stoscher will skate out shallow center field. Christofferson will call for it and make the catch. And will retire the side here in the bottom of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Head to the top of the 5th, 16-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
It is the top of the 5th and a 16-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre. As it will be 7, 8, 9. Ryder Anderson will lead things off in place of Max Jensen. It'll be Ryan Lockram and Jay Harris. As Trevor Rounds will try and just work a clean 5th inning, and the bats for Post State have got to score at least 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to try and keep this game alive into the 6th inning. Otherwise, we will have ourselves a short second game. Ryder Anderson, who ended up batting in Winston Plummer's spots in the 6th inning, got an RBI single that made it a 2-1 game, and then struck out swinging in the 7th and walked in the 9th, takes strike 1 in his first plate appearance here in game number 2. Had 14 guys come to the plate with 9 runs scoring in that 4th inning. That one's over for a strike, and the count's 0-2 here to Ryder Anderson. Lockram, who has walked all 3 times that he's come to the plate, he is on deck. And then it'll be Jay Harris, who has been on base all 3 opportunities. Still 0-2 count here to Ryder Anderson. Rounds delivers, and it will hit Ryder Anderson. So the leadoff man is on base all 5 innings for Brookings. This will be the first time that it wasn't by a base hit or a double. A leadoff single in the first by Christofferson. Leadoff single by Antonin in the second. Leadoff double by Winston Plummer in the third. Then a leadoff double by Jace Bauer in the fourth, and now hit by a pitch in the fifth. So now it's a runner on second. After the pitch got away, and it counts 1-0. Richard Babcock over at third base. He took the place of Grayson Hunsley in the batting order. 1-0 pitch is over for a strike. Counts 1-1. It'll be Dawson Guest, Cooper Twilliger, and Charlie Simpson that would be due up to start the bottom of the fifth inning. 1-1. That one's over for a strike. That counts 1-2 here to Lockram. Yeah, make sure you join us next Tuesday, 3:45 with coverage, 4 o'clock first pitch between Post State and Sioux Falls East. 1-2 is upstairs, and the count's now 2-2. Then we've got all the Veterans Classic games, Thursday morning into afternoon broadcasts, late Friday night and midday Saturday. Taken for strike 3, and the strikeout for Rounds, his second one. And there's one down here at the top of the fifth inning, and it will bring up Jay Harris. That was the first time Locker's been retired. Harris has not been retired yet. He is 2 for 2 with 2 RBI singles. He also walked his first trip to the plate in the second. First pitch swinging. That one's flown out to center field. Hunsley going back on it. That's going to get over his head. It'll 2-hop off the wall. Rounding third and coming in to score will be Ryder Anderson. And an RBI double for Jay Harris, his third RBI of the game. And it's a 17-0 lead here in the top of the fifth inning. Back to the top of the order for Trey Christofferson. So after going 0 for 4 in game 1, Jay Harris is 3 for 3 with an RBI single in the third and fourth, and then an RBI double in the fifth. First pitch will miss for ball 1 to Christofferson. Christofferson has yet to be retired in game number 2. Although he is just 1 for 2 in the game as the count's 2-0. He singled to lead off the first. He walked in the second and third. He grounded into a fielder's choice with an RBI in the fourth inning. Only time he didn't reach base was when he struck out looking in the fifth inning of game 1. He's been on base 9 of the 10 times he's come to the plate. Counts 3-0 here to Christofferson. Make that 8 of the 9 times he's been on base. Make that 9 times now that he has been on base. As he draws the walk, makes it first and second with 1 out for Cooper Schneider. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. He walked and was hit by a pitch. First and second with 1 away. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. One 0 pitch. That'll miss low, and the count's now 2-0. Rounds will come set from the stretch. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That'll also miss, and the count's now 3-0. On deck is Jace Bauer, who has had 3 extra base hits, 3 runs driven in, a home run in the first, a double in the fourth, actually 2 doubles in the fourth, driving in 2 runs. And then the bases are now loaded for him. Back-to-back walks makes it bases loaded for Bauer. We'll have a mound visit and maybe one more pitching change before the night's over with, as Rounds is struggling here in the top of the 5th inning to try and get out of the inning. Yeah, he will be coming out of the game, so we will tell you the changes coming up here in a minute. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
It is Hudson Schaefer now on the mound for Post State, as it'll be just a straight switch between Schaefer and Rounds, as he will make his Senior Legion debut. Schaefer, he did get 2 plate appearances. He walked both times he came to the plate during the spring season, but still dealing with a little bit of an injury that keeps him allowing him to pitch, but not really allowing him to be able to run and play the field. So Schaefer will be trying to get through this top of the 5th inning, and he'll deal with Jace Bauer with the bases loaded and 1 out, and a 17-0 lead for Brookings. And Bauer, who's driven in 3 runs with 3 extra base hits here in game number 2, can add on to his fantastic day. 4 RBIs in total between the 2 games. First pitch will miss low for ball 1. Bases are loaded with Harris at third, Christofferson at second, and Schneider over at first. That one will miss as well, and the count's now 2-0. Here from Schaefer. That one will also miss, and the count's now 3-0. And Bauer most likely be taking until he gets a strike. 3-0 pitch. A miss for ball 4. A 4-pitch walk that will drive in another run. 4th RBI of the game, 5th RBI of the day for Bauer. And it brings up what would be Breck Wilson. So Wilson, after throwing in game number 1, went 4 innings. Did not factor into the decision in the 9-inning game. We'll get a chance to swing the bat for the first time. First pitch over for strike 1 from Schaefer. And time will be called, and Simpson will walk his way out and talk with Schaefer. I think maybe a little mix-up on the signs. Make sure they stay on the same page. Bases are loaded here with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. There's a ground ball to the right side that'll get through for a base hit. 1 run will score. They will hold the other runner up as Stoscher will throw it in. Now 19-0 lead for Brookings. An RBI single for Breck Wilson. And the bases remain loaded for Tyson Antonin. This is the 8th man to come to the plate here in the 5th inning after having 14 guys come to the plate in the 4th. This one will bounce in for ball 1. Antonin, so far, he is 3 for 4. RBI single in the 3rd. RBI single in the 4th. That'll miss upstairs, and the count's 2-0. 3 runs have scored here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's the 2-0 from Schaefer. That will also miss, and it's now a 3-0 count here to Antonin. From Schaefer. Taken for a strike. So good hitters count here for Antonin, looking for his 4th hit of the ball game. Did not have a base hit, but had a sac fly RBI in the top of the 9th in game number 1. He will walk here and drive in another run to make it a 20-0 lead for Brookings. And so now here's Tane Frederick. So Frederick, who struck out swinging to end the top of the 4th inning. The 9th man to come to the plate here in the top of the 5th. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Bases are loaded still here with 1 out. 0-1 pitch. That'll miss low. Evens the count at 1 ball and a strike. Ryder Anderson, who led off the top of the 5th inning, he is waiting on deck. Was hit by a pitch and came in to score on the RBI double from Jay Harris. 1-1 pitch at the knees for a strike. The count's now 1-2. Schaefer looking for a strikeout. Ground ball gets you out of the inning as well. 1-2 pitch. And Frederick will shoot this out towards right center field. Long run, and it will be missed out in right field, just out of the outstretched arm of Stoscher. 2 runs will have to try and score. The throw coming to the plate, and Simpson will make the tag to get the 2nd out. And so a run does score. on the RBI double for Frederick, but Brock Wilson is thrown out trying to score after he was being forced by Antonin to the plate. And there's now 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning. One of those rare doubles where you get 1 RBI and you don't, because usually if you get to second, the throw coming home, you're just advancing to second, but everybody was moved up to a base except for Brock Wilson as the first pitch is swung on and missed by Ryder Anderson. And so it ends up going 8-4-2. And it's now an 0-2 count as the umpire gets hit on the foul ball from Ryder Anderson. Counts 0-2. 10th man to come to the plate here in the top of the 5th inning. A 21-0 lead here for Brookings. 0-2 pitch. This will be fouled out of play. Again, the 8s will have 2, 3, and 4. Dawson Getz, Cooper Twilliger, and Charlie Simpson. That will all come to the plate. Oh, 0-2 pitch from Schaefer. That is missing high and outside. That counts 1-2. Antonin is on at third. Frederick on at second. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and that will end the top of the 5th inning. But now before another 5 runs come to the plate, it is a 21-0 lead for Brookings over Pierre as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for over 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 21-0 is our score between Brookings and Pierre, as the 8s will have Dawson Getz, Cooper Twilliger, and Charlie Simpson be the first 3 hitters, and they need a lot of runs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They would have to get at least 12 to allow this game to get into the 6th inning. So Ruhr, who will have plenty of insurance to, or a lot of room for error, just throw strikes. You don't got to be fancy, just throw strikes to get the 3 outs, and they'll be on their way on the 3-hour trip back to Brookings. Which at this point it will be closer to 2 o'clock in the morning when they get back to Brookings. Again, Post 8 will take Sioux Falls East next Tuesday with a 3:45 coverage start time, 4 o'clock first pitch between the 8s and Sioux Falls East on the road. Dylan Simmons on the call for you. And again, you can't let this doubleheader define the season for Post 8. There is plenty of baseball left to go. You had Brookings on the ropes in game number 1. You had a 2-0 lead and a chance to win that first game. It's unfortunate how things turned into unraveling for Pierre in the second game. We down 21-0. That's, again, this is not a team that expect to see something like this happen throughout the entire season. This is much better Pierre team than what the scoreboard is indicating here in game number 2. 2-0 pitch to Dawson Getz will be fouled back, and the count's 2-1. But it'll be the reset button to be hit, and then get to work on Tuesday against Post 15 East. 2-1 pitch is taken for a strike, and the count's now 2-2. Two-two. That will hit Dawson Getz, and the leadoff man is on base to start the bottom of the 5th inning. So it brings up Cooper Terwilliger, who is 1 for 2. He singled in the 1st inning, thrown out in a fielder's choice. He also ground out to the second baseman. Here's the first pitch. That'll miss outside for ball 1. Again, Ruhr just has to throw strikes. He can be peppered around the field and still get 3 outs before the Eights would get enough runs, could get enough runs to keep the game going, as there's a swing and a miss. And it's now 1-1. But you start walking and hitting guys, and then you start getting hit around the ballpark. That's when disaster could happen for Brookings. 1-1 pitch. It'll be fouled back, and the count's 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Terwilliger, high fly ball out towards center field. That is over the head of Christofferson. Terwilliger's got another extra base hit. It is a throw that will get away from the shortstop, and the Eights will get a run here in the bottom of the 5th inning. An RBI double for Terwilliger. We'll make this a 21-1 ball game. As the second extra base hit of the day for Terwilliger. Gets another RBI. His second today as well. 3rd hit overall, make that 4th hit overall for Cooper Terwilliger. And now it's Charlie Simpson. Here's the first pitch to Simpson. That'll be upstairs for ball 1. Ruhr delivers the 1-0 pitch. That'll bounce in, and Terwilliger will move over to third base. And the count's 2-0. On deck will be Hudson Schaefer. Here's the next pitch over for a strike, and the count's 2-1. Three-one count now here to Charlie Simpson. 3-1 pitch. Simpson will pop this one foul out of play. Count goes now 3-2. Again, tomorrow night we've got college softball coverage for you starting at 6 o'clock, 2 elimination games. And Saturday we'll have one game, I believe it's at 2 o'clock for the start of that game. And then the Eastern Conference Finals Game 6 between the Knicks and the Pacers. This will be ball 4 to Simpson. It's now 1st and 3rd with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And here's Hudson Schaefer. And so Schaefer will swing the bats. Again, he had 2 plate appearances, both walks. First pitch is over for strike 1. Here to Schaefer. Nolan Peterson spot in the batting order, went 0 for 2. Well, Peterson went 0 for 2, and now the first time that someone in another spot has come up, that'll be taken high. That counts 1-1. First and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Eights are trying to just put some runs on the board and build some positive momentum, a little bit of positive momentum going into next Tuesday against Sioux Falls East. Counts 1-2 now here to Schaefer. 1-2 pitch. That one taken for strike 3, and Schaefer will go down looking for the first out. Here in the bottom of the fifth, and it's now here for Rich Leimbach. Leimbach walked in the second and grounded out to the pitcher in the third. So he's 0 for 1 so far here in game number 2. After going 0 for 4 in game 1, make that 0 for 3 in game 1. He'll swing and miss at the first pitch for strike 1. Bridger Babcock would be on deck, and Porter Hunsley would follow after that. Here's the 0-1. There's a line shot, and that'll be a base hit for Leimbach out in the left center field. Rounding second, on his way to third. And then Leimbach will slide in with a double, RBI double for Ridge Leimbach to make it 21-2. Simpson over at third base as well, and he's finding some hits here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Now moves Bridger Babcock to the plate. Was hit by a pitch in the first time he came to the plate. First pitch swings and fouls it away for strike 1. Porter Hunsley, then Parker O'Brien, and then back to the top of the order. With one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. 2 runs scoring here in this fifth. RBI double from Terwilliger and RBI double from Leimbach. Here's the 0-1. That'll bounce low, blocked up by the catcher Anderson. That counts 1-1. At the knees for a strike, and that counts 1-2. As Babcock looks for his first hit of the summer and would drive in at least 1 run, could drive in 2 with a base hit. 1-2 pitch. Babcock ground ball over to the third baseman. Bobbled, but still picked up. The throw to first will be in time, as Bauer is able to hang with it to get the second out. And they're now 2 down here in the bottom of the fifth inning, and Post State down to their final outs as Porter Hunsley will come to the plate. Hunsley is 0 for 1. He drew a walk back in the bottom of the second inning and ground out to the first baseman on a 3-1 put out back in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Again, next Tuesday, coverage will be at 3:45 and a first pitch at 4 o'clock between Post States and Sioux Falls East. That'll be fouled out of play. The count goes now 1-1. Second and third with 2 away. 1-1 pitch here from Ruhr. That'll miss low, and the count's 2-1. Post State 4 hits here in game number 2. 2 hits here in the inning, driving in 2 runs. 2-1 pitch to Hunsley will be fouled at the plate, and the count's now 2-2. And the Eights are down to their final strike. Had 8 hits in game number 1. They left 13 men on base. And the 5-3 loss in the 9-inning affair against Brookings. 2-2. That'll miss outside. Runs the count full at 3-2. O'Brien is waiting on deck, looking for a chance to still swing the bat one more time in the ball game. Reard will go from the windup and deliver the 3-2 pitch. This will be popped foul out of play. Hunsley hit so far today, went 1 for 3 in game 1, 0 for 1 so far. Again, last year you look at the team and took nearly 6 games to get an extra base hit, and Pierce had a lot of extra base hits, a lot of triples in these 2 games, as this will be missing for ball 4, loading the bases for Parker O'Brien. However, the Eights just didn't get the pitching, especially in game number 2, but didn't get the timely hits in game number 1. Bases are loaded here for Parker O'Brien, who's 0 for 2, flew out of the right fielder and struck out swinging. First pitch is over for strike 1. He can extend the game, score a run, and have Hudson Stosher come to the plate, at least 1 run. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Brewer to O'Brien. That one will get to the backstop, and it will score a run to make it 21-3. Both runners will move up another 90 feet to make it second and third as it counts 1-1. So base hit could make this a 5-run inning here for the Eights. O'Brien, who reached base the first 3 times he came to the plate in game number 1, went a total of 0 for 2 in game 1. Here's a ground ball to the left side. That'll get through for a base hit to make it a 4-run inning here for Post 8. RBI single for Parker O'Brien. And we'll get it back to the top of the order. First and third with 2 away. This will be the 9th man to come to the plate, Hudson Stosher. And Coach Roach will make his way out, and he's going to have to make a pitching change with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th in a 21-4 game. We'll step aside. We'll come back in a minute. We'll tell you the changes. You're listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Are you a farmer in the Highmore area? Do you need a trusted partner for your grain and agronomy needs? Look no further than AgTegra. AgTegra is built on a legacy of farmer-owned cooperatives, providing superior service and relentless innovation for generations. We're committed to your success and the safety of our employees and members. For your grain needs, call Chance Scott at 605-846-1099. And for all your agronomy needs, reach out to Cole Hamlin at 605-871-9572. AgTegra, growing together for generations.
Hello, I'm Pastor Jeff Lathrop of Pierre First United Methodist Church, and I'd like to invite you to join us in person for worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. You can also join us on Facebook Live or on KCCR 1240 a.m. or 98.9 FM for our Sunday morning broadcast at 11 a.m. Come worship with us at First United Methodist Church, where you will find open hearts, open minds, and open doors.
Well, Ryan Lockram will come on to pitch here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning, first and third. As we look at Lockram's stats from last year, he threw 15 1/3 innings, giving up, he had 7 relief appearances. He only started 1 game. But he gave up 24 hits, 16 runs, 13 of them earned, 10 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So that ERA was 5.93, whip at 2.22, and a batting average against it 329 for Lockram, who just needs to get 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning as Hudson Stosher will come to the plate. As the first pitch is over for strike 1 to Hudson Stosher. And Ruhr finished with 103 pitches, so according to Game Changer, he had 1 more at-bat to go, but at that last little bit, so they had to go make the pitching change. That counts 1-1. Can't close the book quite yet on Ruhr, but he does give up 5 hits, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's responsible for the 2 guys on base right now, as he has given up those 4 runs. The 1-1 pitch to Stosher. Will miss low and inside, and the count's now 2-1. Trevor rounds his outing, 1 inning of pitch, 4 hits, 8 runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. That'll be over for a strike. Counts now 2-2. Hudson Schaefer, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 1 run on 2 hits, or 2 walks, excuse me, and a strikeout. The 5 pitchers that were used in total for post 8. 2-2 pitch. That'll come inside, and the count's now 3-2. O'Brien will be off with a pitch. With a 3-2 count and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Trying to extend the game now to Dawson Getz. 3-2 pitch and turned on and ripped foul by Stosher. Keeps this a full count. That ball lands fair. O'Brien's, it looked like he's about to score before the ball even dropped out in the outfield. And obviously, we're going to get a good jump. They're not going to throw over. And the speed that he has, he can take off pretty fast. That one will miss low for ball 4, so the bases are now loaded. And Dawson Getz will come to the plate. And Brookings is just trying to find a way to get the last out. But Dawson Getz, who led off the inning being hit by a pitch, will come to the plate. So bases are loaded with 2 outs. Post 8 is still 8 runs away from extending this ball game into the top of the 6th inning. So they still got a long way to go, but they've been able to put up a 4 spot in this bottom of the 5th with 2 doubles. A couple runs coming in. O'Brien with an RBI single as well. As it counts 2-0. And Coach Roach just wanting a couple strikes to be thrown here to get out of this ball game. 2-0 pitch over for a strike count, 2-1. Over at third is Porter Hunsley. O'Brien at second. Hudson Stosher at first. And the count's now 3-1 here to Dawson Getz as that one missed low. Cooper Terwilliger waiting on deck. Yeah, this is the 10th guy to come to the plate. Getz led off the inning, hit by a pitch, and maybe drawing a walk here. This will be popped foul. Got a chance to maybe, nope, will hit the just underneath the press box. Thought maybe it was had a chance to bounce its way towards the opening here in the window. Just missed to the right. 3-2 pitch. Everybody takes off, and Getz will fly this out towards right field, diving for it and missing it, and it will get all the way out to the wall. 3 runs are going to come in to score, and it will be a triple for Dawson Getz. A 3-run triple makes it 21-7. And the Eights have scored 7 times here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They still got 5 runs to go to extend this ball game out to the top of the 6th inning. But Getz does get the 3-run triple. And then now it's Cooper Terwilliger with a runner on third and 2 outs. So the 4th hit of the inning, 3rd extra base hit of the inning. All hits have led to RBIs. Terwilliger had an RBI double for Leinbach, an RBI single for O'Brien, and then a 3 RBI triple for Getz. First pitch swinging for strike 1 to Terwilliger. You are listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront Broadcasting Station, as we roll up to 11 o'clock. And Terwilliger will fly this one down the right field line. That will get out of play. And the count's now 0-2. That would be the 7th legal ID that I have done in the 2-game broadcast. Starting at the 5 o'clock hour of first pitch. 0-2 pitch is high and outside. The count's now 1-2. Got to be pretty close to getting to somewhat of a world record of legal IDs in a doubleheader broadcast. There's a swing and a miss, and that will end the ball game as Terwilliger strikes out. 7-run score in the bottom of the 5th inning, but it is a 21-7 win for Brookings here in the game number 2 to wrap up the doubleheader. Back in 2 minutes to wrap it up. You're listening to Post-State Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're in town for the big game, why not stay where the view is just as great as the action? American and Fort Pierre sits right on the river, offering beautiful scenery, relaxing comfort, and easy access to the ballpark. After a day at the Diamond, there's nothing better than unwinding by the water, and the American always hits it out of the park. Stay by the river. Stay in comfort. Call 605-223-2358 to book your room today. American, where the river meets relaxation. Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
Is your roof ready for the next South Dakota storm? Don't wait till it's too late. For over 25 years, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction has been serving Central South Dakota with quality roofing and construction. He has now added gutters. We offer dependable service, guaranteed workmanship, and no unnecessary flash or fuss. Just reliable protection for your home. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction. Experience you can trust. Call today, 605-280-8133. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, serving Central South Dakota for over 25 years. Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress, and they get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again, or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
When you bank with First Fidelity, we reinvest your deposit right back into our community. We make loans to local families, farms, and small businesses. Community reinvestment is one of our basic purposes. It's vital to the local economy. It also helps grow our community. Stop by one of our branches today. First Fidelity Bank, first-class banking on a first-name basis. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Online at ffb-sd.com.
We welcome you back. It is a final in Game 2, a 21-7 win for Brookings over Post 8s. As the 8s got off to a bad start in that really wasn't so bad through the first 2 innings. It was just a 3-0 deficit. It was 1-0 after 1, and then 3-0 after 2, but then it turned into a 7-0 lead after 3, and then a 9-run 4th and a 5-run 5th to make it 21-0. Before Post 8 scored 7 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning on 4 hits, 3 extra base hits, including a 3-run triple by Dawson Getz. They made it 21-7, but the 8s, that was way too big of a hole to climb out of, and it ends up being a doubleheader loss after a 5-3 loss in 9 innings in game number 1. 21 runs, 15 hits, no errors, 7 left on base for Brookings, 7 runs, 6 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left on base for Post 8. In Game 2, Kyson Ruhr gets the win, going 4 2/3 innings. J.J. Buckles will pick up the loss as 5 pitchers throw. No one threw over 2 innings of work, but 5 pitchers end up throwing for the 8s through those 5 innings overall. Time of the ball game was 2 hours and 27 minutes, which gets you a grand total of 5 hours and 31 minutes of baseball here tonight at Hyatt Stadium between the 2 games. And the 8s will reset and get ready to go for Tuesday against Sioux Falls East. Again, this is a much better team than what this doubleheader showed, especially in Game 2. The 8s were close to winning game number 1, had a couple of chances in the 7th and 8th inning. They could have won it on a walk-off, needed won that one run, had a 2-0 lead through 5.5 innings, or through 5 complete innings, before it was tied up in the top of the 6th. So this 8s team is, again, going to have to reset and get ready to go for Tuesday against Sioux Falls East. It's going to be another tough games, and every South Dakota doubleheader will be tough, but the 8s will have to find a way to be to again reset and get ready to go for Tuesday against Sioux Falls East. I want to say thanks to Jen Brazilius back at the station, who has hung with us throughout this entire night. We appreciate her on a late night here on the Thursday night. Appreciate the work that she did. John Wickler here signing off. 5-3 loss in 9 innings for Brookings against Brookings in Game 1. Then a 21-7 win for Brookings in Game 2 as the Eights are swept here tonight. Again, thanks to Jen Brazilius. John Wickler here signing off. And have a good rest of your Thursday nights.
You've been listening to Post 8 Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Post 8 Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Chemlon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Door, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Yay Gare, AGE, First Fidelity, State Farm Becky Pottseva Agency, Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota, Oahe Federal Credit Union, Missouri River Dentistry, Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping, Egtegra, Ferding Electric, Envirotech, Kruger Climate Systems, Stalkin Peterson LLP, Wagner Auto, the South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection, Gales Gas, First United Methodist Church, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, Beck Motors, May Adam, American Family Insurance Brittany Scheffelbein Agency, Lamb Motors, Bank West, CHS River Plains, Faith Lutheran Church, Graham Tire, Kathy Sunshine Properties, Venture Communications, and the American of Fort Pierre. Join us all season on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports for more Post 8 Baseball. This has been a special presentation of River